Built from the BX, OP4 TV, what's shaking? Today I have a special guest, special edition episode for September 11th. This year marks the 20th anniversary of September 11th, and we want to have conversations with veterans addressing what happened on September 11th, 2001, and how it affected and changed our lives. Today I have my special guest here, my man Jason Hewitt. Fam, tell us why you was ducking the smoke when the towers got attacked, the Pentagon got attacked. Why'd you run and hide in your brother's basement?
Dog.
Tell us what happened. What happened? What'd you do?
Like that? Nah, man. Nah, it was no ducking, man. No ducking going on over here, bro. Nah.
But what we understand, you heard the smoke was coming, and you wanted to avoid the smoke.
Bro, on the real though, I'll tell you some real shit, and this is something I haven't told a lot of people. So I was an intelligence analyst for the Air Force, and
how many years you
do? I did 21 years, 8 months. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So we're in an A school, tech school type situation, and we were in our terrorism block.
Right.
And the task was for, they broke us up in a small group, said, look, we need you guys to dream up the best terrorist attack that you can. Be original and, just come with it. Take the gloves off and, just see what you can come up with. Brainstorm and figure it out. And I mean, a lot of people were, gravitated to bombings and that type of thing because that was, the deal of the day. Yeah, it's not original, right? But no bull, our group was like, yo, what if you hijacked a bunch of planes at the same time and just, started crashing them into stuff? Like, no bull, man. I swear.
What year was this?
Dog, this was 1999.
Wow.
This is 1999.
So not only did you know and understand
that
the U.S. is being attacked.
Here we go.
You went to school. Because we had information. That there were young terrorists who took training in Florida to fly airplanes.
Right.
Not only that, there was people in the Air Force in intel training.
I'm just saying, bro.
You're getting a drop right here on OP4 TV. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Tell us more about the U.S. Air Force, the young junior U.S. Air Force,
bro,
who trained the pilots for Osama bin Laden, who flew the planes. No, that's not what happened.
That's not exactly.
It's close though.
It's. I mean, but on the real, man, it was. We put that out there, right?
Okay.
And don't you know, we got laughed out of the whole joint.
Wow.
Like nobody believed that was even fathomable. And I mean, we put it out there like, look, why not? Like, why can't, you know what I mean? People, you can get pilot training. Anybody with bread and an ID can get pilot training. Like, why is that impossible? Well, because, they will have to take over the planes and, that's just an impossible thing. Yeah. And we're like, yo, man, I mean, you look around and, the bystander culture wasn't quite there, but at the same time, man, because you weren't catching on camera and all of that, but people weren't really willing to step up and go do anything about a whole lot. You know what I'm saying?
Like today, people are scared to get punched in the face.
Exactly. So I'm like, I don't see what the big deal is. Like, of course that could happen. And they laughed us out of the building, man. But I mean, that was, and after it happened, I called up a couple of my instructors and stuff like, hey, yo, remember what I mean?
Remember what I said?
We talked about
I was playing. I made it happen.
Y'all laughed us out of the room. And
I made it happen.
Went down, man.
And then you told about how you made it happen.
I even got a couple of emails. A couple of cats was like, yo, man, they got on their humble like, yo, I actually remembered y'all talking about that. And that's crazy. Like, but yeah, man, on the real though, man, I was on leave in North Carolina and stuff. From England. I've been in, a little over 3 years at the time.
And this is September 11, 2001. You had been in about a little over 3 years. You were stationed overseas. And you was already on leave. So you didn't run from the smoke. You was already on leave.
Right. I was already chilling,
Okay.
I was jet lagged
Yeah.
out of this world, you know what I'm saying? So I'm laying on my brother's couch watching, Sports Center or whatever. And next thing you know, the footage of the first plane, started appearing. And it was just, in the beginning, they was just showing the building smoking, because nobody really had the actual plane flying into the building, at least,
Okay.
at the very first joints, and they were speculating on, if it was a small aircraft or a small passenger plane ran into the building, it was clearly an accident, this and the third. And again, man, this is like the very, very initial reporting. Within an hour, folks kind of started speculating on the terrorism aspect of it or whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting there watching it, and again, man, I'm jet lagged and stuff, and I'm like, man, I didn't know if I was awake, if I was, asleep, and then I'm trying to put this thing together, and sure enough, I switched to actual news channels. Fox was new at the time. Like Fox News had just came out,
Yeah.
and
A lot of people don't
they
know that.
weren't. Yeah, it had just came out. CNN was the man up until around year 2000 or so, 2000,
Absolutely.
2001, and Fox News came around,
Absolutely.
and they were pretty credible at the time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it wasn't the whole political entertainment news situation. Like they were, they had embedded reporters that were really on their grizzy, So
Exactly.
I'm like, man, I'll turn to Fox and see what's going on. And yeah, they speculated on the terrorism piece of it, and they couldn't wrap their heads around how is this possible.
The plan
You know
that
what I'm
you and your
saying?
homies had
Like,
put together, they couldn't even stay
right. They
together.
like, nah, it's no way that this is possible. Like this had to be some type of accident. And I mean, in the squadron I worked with, there were air traffic controllers and I worked with pilots and everything. So I kind of understand aviation at a level that, the laymen don't necessarily. And just, all the inner workings of it, controlling aircraft, blah, blah, blah,
Okay.
ceilings, low ceilings and the flight decks and all that stuff.
Okay.
So I'm like, it's no way an air traffic controller allowed this to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense, bro. Like, either somebody
So because
suicide,
in your head, you're thinking they took over the plane before it took off the runway.
or just the idea, I'm talking the idea of it being an accident, because that's what they were
Oh,
selling it
okay.
as.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's, I'm like, how do you accidentally run into one of the biggest buildings in the New York City skyline? Like,
On a
that's
clear day.
ridiculous.
On
Like,
a perfectly clear day.
right. I threw that shit out the window. I'm like, dude, so what's really going on? So I'm like, man, perhaps a pilot was trying to commit suicide and that's how he did it. And I'm like, all right, I'm hoping it's that, because in the back of my mind, we had went through that scenario back in school. And I'm like, dog, I know this shit ain't happening. Like, it just can't be it. And, it was, a little while, they kept replaying and people, talking heads are talking and everything. And
Lots
then
of
the
talking.
second plane came, the second plane.
After the second plane, Dave Chappelle made it very clear. MTV News went to Ja Rule because that's what the whole world was waiting on.
They was waiting to hear what
We was like, yo, what does Ja Rule think about what's happening right now? Because, you know what I'm saying, you got to know the homie from Queens. Yeah, we got to know what does Ja Rule think. The world 20 years ago was crazy.
It was crazy, man, for sure. It was crazy, man. Even the news in general, like they tried to make, it's almost like they were in the infancy of the entertainment news, 24-hour news cycle joint. Like that wasn't even how stuff was moving in 2001. You know what I'm saying? But they were kind of trying to get there.
In like 93, 94, Mitch McConnell, Roger Stone were instrumental in removing, because the way the news was covered during that time period, it was basically governed by, the federal government. They're the ones who had their hands in the way. You couldn't deliver news the way you do now.
No.
But now news, what people don't understand is that, news is ran by ads, and ads is ran by companies. So the news that we hear that's filtered to us, it's only filtered by the people who pay the people
Got
to
you.
allow us to watch it.
100%, man.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So whether you CNN, Fox, MSNBC, if they're running commercials, the chances are it's filtered. You know what I'm saying? We got to go back to PBS, yo.
Right. Walter Cronkite and all
You know what I'm
that.
saying? We got to go back to the old school TVs with the knobs.
Right. And
Turn
the
on
ears
PBS.
with the
You know what I'm
foil on the
saying?
end.
You got in New York, it was
you
channel
had
13.
You had to turn it to the U.
Got to turn it to the U. Then go other knob, we go to channel 13, man.
Yeah, like
and
that.
We gotta get our wrist back strong, man.
Right.
Too much of this. Too much of this. We gotta get our wrist back strong. We gotta take it back, man.
100%.
Nah, but when that second plane hit,
dog,
your thoughts and feelings.
Dog, the second plane, at that point, it turned into who is responsible. Like there was no doubt to me. And even the talking heads were kind of like, all right, one is a fluke, but two is we're in real trouble, man. Like real trouble. And I'm watching it, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I was jet lagged and everything, but after it happened, even for the first like 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, yeah, some Yahoo ran into the building, whatever. This is, I treated it almost like, remember when Fabio was on the roller coaster? Remember he's on the roller coaster and he came down and he got hit in the face with the bird and shit. So I don't even know if you remember that.
I remember that vaguely. For those that don't know,
and like they
Fabio
showed,
with the long, luxurious hair.
Yeah, he's got the luxurious locks and shit.
He had the chest muscle.
Yeah, he got the chest.
All through the 90s, that girl that you liked, those novels she was reading, Fabio was on the cover of those novels.
Right, and he's holding some chick like
he's holding a girl. He's riding a horse, a white.
Right, he's on a horse
while holding the girl with the blonde hair.
100%. And you're gonna read a book about, I don't even know what those books were about, man. The covers made me think that it was about to be some some shenanigans going on in the book, though.
If you was dealing with a girl who read those books, it wasn't gonna take a lot of hard work for you to get the drugs.
Nah, she was with it.
Yeah,
she was
with
it.
Those books got all riled up. So all you had to do is not say something stupid.
Right. It was your game to lose. 100%. 100%.
So the news cover Fabio riding the roller coaster got hit in the face with a bird.
Right. Bam. Hit him in the face. Like they showed him getting on the roller coaster. And he was all, I'm Fabio. I'm the coolest motherfucker alive type shit. Mm-hmm. He's like, he's feeling this. He's feeling it. He saw it, the cameras. He's with it. Mm-hmm. And then my man, the roller coaster was stopping and the same cameras are there. And my man was like, he was horrified. It was like a big blood bird print on his face type shit. It was feathers, all this shit.
Because you hit a bird with your face at 60 miles an hour.
My man was just like, what in the fuck, dog? Like, what is going on here? He couldn't deal, my guy. He could not deal, dog. And the same cameras, man, I'm telling you, they were the same people you see on the way up, you see on the way down, you dig? Personified. Bam.
Hey, yo.
And I bet his agent saw that shit like, oh shit. Like, did he break his face? Like,
imagine if he had the eye like Biggie now. He was up there doing one of these numbers right here.
Shit leaning,
it would have been the same. It would have been the same. So back to it. The second plane hits.
Yeah.
The way the media covers things, your mind is racing, your mind is thinking. And you're thinking,
in another place with it. I'm totally in another place with it, man, because again, I mean, the potential of terrorist attacks has always been there. Even after, when Billy Clinton was on his way out, President, William H. Clinton, if you will. Right. I mean, right. Or as in the hood, man, Billy Clinton, you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
At the end of it, man, Billy Clinton left, somewhat of a manifesto on what the next big threat to the United States is going to be. He left a playbook and everything, you know what I'm saying? I mean, at this point, everybody's, at least a lot of people have heard about, the idea that the Clinton administration tried to warn the Bush administration about terrorist attacks in general. I'm not gonna say they had it not sass like we did in our little tech school or whatever, but you know what I mean? Like they weren't on that level, but at a bare ass minimum, we knew Osama bin Laden was out there. We knew that, what became known as Al Qaeda was a serious, serious threat, man. And
we knew
I didn't make the immediate connection, but that was kind of, having just come from the Middle East and everything, and just having been focused on, Middle East and Middle Eastern politics and all that stuff. I'm like, dude, this smells like it has a Middle Eastern flavor to it.
Wow.
And as I'm watching the talking heads, all of them were getting close to it, but they're missing it. Again, it was almost like you could see them flailing. You could see that, the money is driving the show, and everybody was in a state of panic, and they were trying to provide a level of comfort, but at the same time, they were trying to be first again. You know what I'm saying? But they wouldn't go quite far enough into it to be able to speculate. And I don't know if they just didn't have the know, or if they were like those instructors in my school, you know what I'm saying, where they were like, yo, this is an impossible situation. You know what I'm saying? So Erica, can you please be quiet?
No, we good. We good. Check this out. Here's the next question. I want you to take your time. I can edit that. You can edit that shit. Sure. Because we got about 16 and a half minutes now, so we good. All right, cool. What lessons do you think America has learned in the past 20 years, dealing with since September 11th?
The lessons, man.
Take your time and think about it. Like I said, I'm gonna edit it out, so I want you to have a clear, concise thought on this. So when you come with it.
So in the beginning, right? In the beginning, you started to see this real galvanizing effect. You know what I'm saying? Like as a military member, I was booked on a flight that Thursday. So they shut flights down that Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And the first day that they allowed flights, it was either the Thursday or the Friday. I can't remember exactly, but
September 11th happened on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it was a Tuesday, but I'm saying they shut the flights down on Wednesday, and I think Thursday. But either way, the first day that flights were allowed, I had a flight booked. You know what I'm saying? I was flying out to Texas to check out some homies or whatever. But when I go to the airport and everything, and I pull out my green ID card, it was like, I don't know if I've ever felt more respected as an enlisted person, as a green card holder, if you will, as an active duty serviceman. I don't know if I've ever felt quite so respected by Americans before. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I was only 3.5 years into it. I was stationed overseas. So a lot of my experience in dealing with the public were British people in terms of wearing a uniform. And man, I go to, check my bags or whatever, and the lines are crazy because, the airports are just getting into the, yo, man, you need to show up 2-3 hours early type shit, and they checking your socks, they got to do going through everything. And I pulled that ID out, dog, to check in. And the person at the ticket counter, they looked at me. I can't capture the expression on their faces in words. It was almost as if it was on some real hero shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now, it doesn't say what job I do. It doesn't say I'm a shooter, I'm a cook, I work in the fucking gym. Like, none of that shit mattered.
I pulled towels, yo.
Right. I was gonna, right. They just knew that when I open my chest up, my shirt up, it's gonna be the S and all that shit. Like my cape was blowing in the wind and shit. Straight like that. And on the real, they were like, yo, man, we're gonna put you in first class. You okay with that? And I'm like, man, let's do it, man. I bet. First class. Boom. Go to San Antonio, kick it, right? And even on the way back to North Carolina, boom, first class. And then the coup de grace was on the way all the way back across the pond, dude. First class, man. Hey, you got a green ID card. First class, 100%.
Hey, man. This is it. OP4 TV, new podcast. I want to thank you all for checking in, locking in with us. Jason, I appreciate you, sir. Definitely got to have you come out for some real talk. You've been excellent with crazy insight, a completely different POV of things. And that's what this podcast is about. Highlighting and showcasing veterans' thoughts and ideas. And thanks again. We appreciate you, bro.
Hey, man.
Blessings, bro. And we out.